traditionally been a home for Sentinels since the iteration of the Celsius John Cutie roster began. Do they have it in them?
All right, Toronto, one more time. Make some noise. Sentinels versus Wolves starts now. Sense that on defense side here on the pistol, and already Zekken's looking to take a decent amount of real estate here on that B side of the map. Gate crash across the map that will allow for a quick rotate.
I mean, this comp from Sentinels, certainly not lacking in flashes. They can get very proactive, popping out of smokes past wall. Zekken right now wants to take contact off this flash, but shut down. Juicy and Spring.
The flash was good. Can't complain about it. Wolves though were ready to take the fight there. Delsa's affected by paranoia, and this is awkward. The wall is dropped. He's going to have to take this fight, and Juicy rips him a new one. John can barely peer out of defense side. Spring sees him cross. Banks trying to get some sort of position towards Heaven side now as the plant goes down. The veteran Lysor gets it in there.
Bang understands that this flank from YU is likely coming. Spotted output. Now this Cypher just needs to stay alive, bide some time, distract them. Fair enough. Time is dropping, and I love this reflank coming in from CFAT.
Yeah, they're on a timer. There's also going to be presence from Heaven. Spring's going to get there! It's Lysor! What an opener! Basically every kill, a headshot there for Wolves. And they were ready for the trap Sen laid at B.
There's going to be so much proactivity like that from Sentinels here on defense. So if Wolves can continue to nullify that, flash turned by both players, quick on that reaction. And look at these taps from Lysor, who is by far the most experienced player on this Wolves team when it comes to international events. Every single one he attended with FPX in 2024. That experience is going to need to come into play to keep the rest of these guys in it. He's been such a consistent...
Conversely, Wolves also were a really Taeho-reliant team. They're playing that agent in the past on most of their maps as well. Tech pause sorted. We're going to be jumping back into the game now. It's Wolves, of course, on their anti-eco.
Brought up a couple rifles, just going to leave that ghost towards Spring, who's going to be surely trying to lurk, take a couple engagements with no upgrade here. Look at this from Wolves. This is really right now telling the story of what they know they're up against.
Yeah.
At any moment, there could be multiple flashes with a fault line coming right at them, especially on an eco round. So they are taking their sweet, sweet time. We're already 40 seconds in and they're chilling.
Delsa took a big hit there. Some spray potentially as the poison orb came up in mid. That trap wire indicates that Wolves may not opt to stay at the A side. They're hoping to tease something out. Here's a flash mid for a re-clear. Nothing spotted by Sen. Now they'll disperse a little further. At least Zekken will move back towards Heaven. That's a ping from Wolves, though, in mid. They're starting to make this move on A.
We are down to 45 seconds, so there is no map control right now for Wolves. Look at Sen. They've read the situation. They're pivoting over, and certainly that Trailblazer broken, they'll know.
Now time getting a little even lower. Where do Wolves go from here? Hit by the fault line, unable to make that execute onto A, but Spring has started to create an opening here through mid. Sen are responding, though.
They're on the full rotate. Now Spring is going to beat them there. The rest of the team should be able to get to Heaven. Do they have a smoke to actually cut this off with a molly? That will do the job. 20 seconds to cross into the site. Steal time is so low.
Horde confirms no players for Sentinels are in this part of the site for now, so in they go. Lysor just want to stand up over towards here. That defense spawn choke.
10 seconds left.
The attack side will have themselves a plant. Sen not able to create any trap opportunities early in the round. Only equipped with classics. There's not a whole lot to be done.
These guys are giving me some serious anxiety with that late rotate. Sen we're stacked up and ready now. It's just about Wolves cleaning this up with ease.
Spring and Lysor going to be grouped up here in the back of sight. They're going to be facing down a bunch of classics. This should be easy enough for them, but Dorain's able to find Juicy. Guiding Light goes in, does find a ping, but the wall gets thrown up here by the attack side. They can sit happily behind that now, and they handle Sentinels, corral them into the site, and walk out of the round with 3 rifles.
All of the important guns carried over from Wolves. Dangerous for a moment there. Sen were so aware of what they were doing, and that was a round where Wolves, it was looking like they were a little too apprehensive about how offensive this Sen comp is going to be on defense. But once they're set up here, that wall to play off that you called out is really going to simplify things for Wolves. And credit them, I mean, they did get to this site with everybody alive. And it's a pretty clean anti-eco overall to get into this bonus round.
One thing we're looking to see if Wolves can make adaptations on the fly. in the past, they really stuck to plan A and didn't really change things up when things got weird mid-round. One of the criticisms been leveled at them.
And certainly one of the reasons that the run to get here was so volatile. You know, winning a clean 2-0 over Billy, qualified and losing 0-3. Here's Juicy trying to press up towards mid. An incredibly aggressive player, specifically when he's on this duelist, on this map even. He is a menace.
In his space, Juicy's getting a lot of room up mid, but Zelsis plants his feet, ready to receive him, but at the same time, the push is coming to the B side, but bang, is hidden.
Spring is so aware.
Oh, that's straight through smoke, Lysor. You can't be doing that. Now Zekin and John are a little bit split from each other. John attempts a foray and Ryu just blows him up. Zekin just has to walk away with his gun intact. There's not much else to do.
Free little upgrade for YU on the bonus round conversion. Zekin forced to save. Bank broken for SEN. Wolves with all the momentum in the world early. What a play from Spring. Now he is a man on this team that shows absolutely zero fear. Reckless abandon at times. Often getting him punished, but feels just as often when you watch this guy. He is going to outright win rounds for this team. I just love that awareness from him, realizing that Bang is going to be playing around the cloud that he had up. He drops and he's posted for the duel. That is insane.
He's the kind of player, even as a Viper player, that loves to just stand out in the open and take these duels. Sometimes early in the round, so it's been exploitable in the past for Wolves, but in that situation, it was just what they needed to control B.
So when you're on attack and you're getting clean 1v1 wins over Bang anchoring a site, you're earning my respect, because these are the situations where Bang is at his finest.
Zelsa is the only player for Sentinels who's really able to have any stopping power in that round. As that poison orb came down, he was just too slow to the punch. Rough starting for Sentinels. We've got him mic'd up. That's an interesting decision.
We're going to see a lot of stingers on this half by very North America coded of SEN to be bringing these in.
Bring them down.
The expert region with one of the silliest guns in the game.
Blinded.
They really want this mid control, Sen. Have already thrust Zekin straight down. And Wolves was playing, again, very passively early, just like we saw in that anti-eco round. Two players grouped up towards Ramen, but Zekin's got a pretty far forward off bang. Sufat's able to spot it out though. Of course, Gate crashes away. Now Wolves do have to re-clear mid to some degree, but they're starting to encroach on A, and they've got a local player advantage here.
Juicy has worked some nice space here. YU spamming through. SEN, again, they are rotating heavily to where Wolves have made noise. This is really reminiscent of that eco round they had earlier. They are stacked up on the proper site, and it looks like Wolves want to force the issue.
Oh, this could be dangerous though. Zekin from within the dark cover, but Juicy takes the fight to them. That, however, though, is where the Stingers thrive. Juicy gets cut down. 40 seconds left in the round, and here at least Wolves are changing things up. You'll note that Lysor has taken the spike across towards mid. They have, though, left Spring here.
30 seconds left.
Does Lysor dare try to take this spike towards B? Do Wolves attempt to pivot? They're going to. He should be able to get a free plant. Doesn't look like Bang is going to be in position to stop by to get there going so late, man. We've got 15 seconds on the clock, but they should be able to get the spike down. SEN do recover another upgrade. Gun to narrate. Oh my god, this could be everything.
He has the gun.
This could be everything on the round.
The right gets past them, but the timing here is very tight. Sufat is likely to come up behind Sentinels here, and they may not be ready for a bated breath here as Wolves try and close the net. But John wins out against Spring. Sufat has to go large here, but he doesn't have much to shoot at. Sees John. Trigger discipline. Pays off. Now he's got that heaven control. Sentinels are starting to filter out onto the site. Lysor waiting. Dark cover blooms. He'll see it all here and brings Zelsis to heal. The shot through the smoke might be too much in the hand of a Sufat from the rafters. Can finish the job. That's 4 for the fade and 4 for Wolves.
The IGL of Wolves. Speaking of how much this tournament meant to him, comes up in a crucial round where SEN could have halted the momentum they've got from winning that bonus on the prior. The patience here. Beautiful flank, and then able to just snap onto the remaining Sentinel players while they were distracted by Lysor in the site. 3v4, 1 out. A couple rounds where SEN had to read on what Wolves are doing, putting them in a horrendous time situation, but they are still able to win it out.
Now those Sentinels do have their rifles back to hand. Okay, second. Coming off second best in that early encounter, Spring always up for a fight.
He will not shy away from taking a duel like that. Wolves are getting some space up here towards mid. Last time when this was the case, we saw Juicy just double satchel straight into heaven, and the rest of his team got caught off by Amali. Sometimes situations like that were their undoing in the qualifying run. Spring with the adjustment, his aim is sick.
And that was after. Zekken pulled back from mid, so now Sentinels do not have information about that part of the map. They've got no idea that Wolves have concentrated their players towards his A side. Bang's about to get awful busy. The highest ACS and KPR controller in America's playoffs. A real standout player is about to have his hands very full. We'll spray through. Sealfat feels the burn. Wolves are milling about here over towards main now, looking to take that ramp control, but look at SEN. They are going to get some players up ropes.
3 players potentially fight here for SEN. Juicy going to cross. Second a bit too far, or John rather, with that Trailblazer. Zelsis, does he have an opportunity to get off the rope? No, he's just feeling the danger, the pressure. Bang is going to have to at least get one here.
Oh, the timing!
Only 2, what a thought line!
Perfect setup, and Bang brings the house down! They really needed that!
The stun from Narrate was perfect, made it absolutely effortless for one of the best anchor defensive players in the game. Flash as well, picks on everybody.
They were trying to run through maple syrup, Wyatt. Do not recommend.
Spike down.
3rd round, where Wolves had intentions of going A. This time they commit, and SEN have the full rotate, the full read on them. This is the first time they've actually been able to convert.
Counters with Spring so far, Wyatt. Just a slower start for Yoru.
Keep up. That's after being on an absolute heater run in the Americas playoffs. Zekken was an unbelievable duelist there. Early aftershock is going to allow Zekken to press up into main, specifically playing off of that dark cover too. So Wolves are going to have to invest some resources, at the very least this Prowler, to regain space, but that's not enough to force Zekken away.
That interesting Viper wall that cuts mid. Wolves looking to make use of that to gain some space, but Zekken eventually has to give up B main.
Enough resources committed, and that dark cover dropping. He knows he's in significantly more danger than. Wolves going to pivot towards mid. YU has just been ensuring that no one from Sentinels has pushed too far on this A side. They want to go for the split at the moment.
This is dangerous.
This is the weakest the A site has been in terms of numbers for SEN, where Wolves are actually going to hit it.
Bang can sense here. You can sense something's a bit wrong, Wyatt. And risk of getting pinched now as that heaven control's been effortlessly taken by Wolves. Given over by SEN. This is the position Bang was playing from the previous round. Is Juicy double satchel into elbow. Presumably, oh, it's a devastating push.
I know exactly.
And there it is, Narrate just handled.
30
Spring
seconds
is
left.
nasty. Zekken and Zelsis doubled up here. Trying to find a way back in, but that poison orb is going to deny any more progress. But they're just walking away from this.
Spring always hungry for more, wants to go for the pre-fire even. I mean, the SEN economy isn't great, but neither is Wolves. They would love to carry all of these guns over. Juicy in that round comes up huge on the double satchel. John just not prepared for him to go through elbow, through the molly that was thrown down on the ground. Those are the plays that Juicy will come up with, because he is just so insanely aggro with the satchels. He will commit so hard on those jumps, sometimes going too far. There isn't a follow-up, but when he succeeds, it will outright win rounds for this Wolves squad.
And you can see Sentinels insisting on trying to take some control of the extremities. Into B main, Zekken pushed early in the round. Over on the A side of the map, we saw Bang try and get forward towards YU, but the Cypher from Wolves is not giving anything to Sentinels, playing very passive around their trip, and then Juicy with this free, essentially, heaven control, has a fantastic execution.
Even in that moment too, Bang felt like he needed to get out of dodge, back screens. There was so much pressure, so he just had the teleport out and was caught by the spam from Spring, who's at a cool 8-2 right now, 6 rounds into the game. He's been getting pivotal first bloods, some nice multi-kills as well.
Same as previously. Aftershock dark cover just to take that B main control initially. Zekken, though, has been moved to A.
The importance of this round for SEN cannot be understated. This is their economy on the line. You're going to assume they'll probably be using the Seekers at some point to win this out if they can. This would be worth 2 for Wolves. Oh, 1 second! He can't even get away in time!
Why you, Anko? Too sharp, and straight away we're into the site. Showstopper pop to clear it. Good peek in there from John. Gets down Ramps and at least extracts Spring. A big issue for SEN so far, but Juicy's playing up close here, and Narrate cannot win the fight against Silfat. John wants to get there. Oh, they're waiting for him. Juicy sat there and tells us down to a boombot. Okay, it's on Bang. It's doable. Fake TP now, try and pull the wool over Wolves' eyes, but they're looking for him. Why are you with the cam? That has to be cleared.
That's going to give away Bang's position. Crucial for Wolves. They can double up, try to face this elbow.
On the angle, Silfat taking a solo fight. Bang just gets ahead of it. He says, "You're not coming to me? I guess I'm coming to you." 5 bullets in the chamber and he wins it out. Well, that one could have gone either way. That's got Jordan on his feet. Some confidence maybe for SEN now.
Must win round. Economy was hanging in the balance. Imagine Wolves win that round war through. They get to 7 already on split attack. Major deficit that SEN would have had to overcome. Zekin is just...
Wow.
He's in disbelief at how quick that was.
It's a tight angle, to be fair. What's else to say here? Falling the wrong way of the boombot.
You can see SEN there, we're trying to flood back in again. That should be their forte with this comp. They have so many flashes to get out through the smokes, but Wolves have fantastic positioning to deny the players like John, who's pooling out of heaven.
Viper's pit towards mid. SEN have really given up this part of the map in the last couple of rounds. This time, though, they stake their claim. Not again. Zelsa's having to play through that part of the map with the judge. Bang has the gap in the poison orb here, but Spring is very much aware of it. Damn, tears strips off him.
He's so good, man. Spring is a menace right now.
But now a break in the action as Wolves look to concentrate over towards this A side of the map where it's really only John in attendance.
Yeah, currently just jiggle peeking.
I saw it.
They're going to send out that flash, perhaps for additional info, but no, isn't going to do so. Just wants to play off Narrate, who's now jump spotting the cross.
John here with a bit of spray. Lysor takes a glancing blow. Okay, looks like that fault line does connect. Slows Wolves up further. Again, we're heading to the 30-second mark in the round, but they begin having once more. The timing! John! At least he's
Wait, it was a self-stun?
He's got to fight his way out of the corner, but he can't. Caught by the C's. Narrate, though, plants his feet. Sees the double swing coming in, but he's good for it!
Spike down A.
And now Silfat stuck in screens. Spike too far away to recover. SEN looking like they can carry 3 rifles out of the round. Bang won't give him more than that. Wolves, they bleed the clock a lot. 30-second mark, they go for it and they fizzle as they try and hit A.
SEN again, they're able to get 3 players over to that A site in time. Juicy gets a lovely first kill onto Zekin. I think that was John got 1 all stunned up. Yeah, he does. That is so important from John. After getting self-stunned by the close-range Trailblazer.
Look
There
at this.
then, that is a beautiful
Spike
little
down
transfer
A.
when Lysor tries to double swing.
That puts a Rolling Thunder online here for Sentinels. Now last round they had the Viper's Pit to take that mid control. This time, not an option.
Seconds actually picked up the Outlaw into this round. Multiple players that could be one shot.
Horn cleared as the Poison Orb blooming in mid.
And this time it's actually Bang who's up really deep in B main. Typically it has been Zekin.
Silfat's down to 10. He took a hit from that Outlaw. Zelsa's backs away into ropes. You can see Zekin now has found himself elsewhere. This is hot and heavy stuff through mid, and Juicy's able to bring Zelsa's down.
What a double swing. That was excellent from Wolves.
Now I might see a push here out of B main. But Spring is playing so passively, so safe, and Bang can't get a look at him. Instead, tries to sneak up and has an off-bangle to play with now. He's into Ramen.
Oh, a little bit of damage. Why you? But I mean, ambitious to be fighting that with the classic brother. Wolves have gotten their way into the B site though, knowing it's vacant due to Bang having pushed out the other player going down. John concerned clearing out heaven. Try from Lightstorm, but SEN are good for 2. Everything on the very low HP Sufat.
Scrappy round considering Wolves didn't really have a full buy to work with. Sufat with 10 health. You can't make Sufat what? Red Bull clutch!
Impossible clutch! No HP! Just the Sheriff! The trade wasn't fast enough from SEN. They cannot be losing that.
He took an outlaw hit at the start of the round. With the Sheriff, he proved that the town ain't big enough for the 2 of them. Or 3 in that case. Unbelievable. It's barely checked for.
He ate that outlaw shot earlier. One of the only players that actually had full armor. I think there were 2 for Wolves.
Yeah, that's a stand-up. That's a stand-up.
Even the little bicep flex. Did you see him in the gym earlier? No, that was Forsaken. Down there. Yeah, Forsaken. That boy's looking shredded, not gonna lie. They have shooters. They are so dangerous. But when things are going wrong, they're disjointed, they just look like a totally different team. You didn't know which one you're gonna get, but we got Wolves at their finest to open up this game.
Spring actually wants to challenge the smoke here.
It's playing off that wall. Earlier was very passive when this dark cover was up.
He has to suspect that maybe the Ori's got tucked there in B main. We'll check back in on that story.
Paranoia is going to keep Juicy at bay, but Bang still feels like he needs to give up a fair amount of that space. SEN are making a multi-man pivot towards this A site. I mean, typically when noise had been made there, Wolves are just hard committing. You know, they had a couple rotates to move, but that was like 20 seconds left. SEN have typically had a great read on these situations.
Once again, Wolves using every second of the round to explore the map, and Juicy explores the Banks Cranium, what? He just takes the fights and wins them. That severely reduces SEN's presence on A. Even John peels off from screens maybe to go back around, but it's a heaven fight brewing. Celsius seems to know it. It's a really laboured pick there from Lysol that allows Celsius to find his own 2.
He knows the only way back in the round is playing a weird off-angle second.
Finally wins that fight, Wyatt.
Spring has been so dangerous towards B.
30 seconds left.
Cam cleared. Looks like the move is over towards ropes here for Wolves. SEN have all pulled back to the B site.
This A site is going to be completely open. Juicy, with all of the kills he's been finding, has the showstopper active. That could be the crux of a round win. In fact, look at his position. He's pushing all the way through screens right now. He wants to take an early fight. This dimensional shift. That's going to spot him out. I mean, this is a must-win right now for SEN. Look at their economy. Has to be committed.
Okay, Juicy can't gun down another brace of 2 this time, but out. But the dimensional drift comes second. He is handled. YU is ready for the clone. Here's the double swing now through elbow. He's low. And the roar of attrition, 1 out by Sentinels. Gets him within a 2-round striking distance. Boy, they've had to fight tooth and nail for every single one of these rounds.
Celsius is simply the hero of this round. Juicy winning 2 isolated 1v1s. And Celsius knows someone has to be the guy to save this round. I might as well do it. I'm just going to play a weird off angle when they push up into heaven. I just have to get a multiple. That's the only way back in, and he pulls it off.
Round 11 coming at you. That showstopper still there for Juicy. Rolling Thunder for Narrate.
Hell of a lot of ults right now for Wolves. They've got that showstopper to get into a site, or even one away from the Nightfall, and then throw down that pit to close things out in the post plant.
Narrate here just going to play up that fault line in case there's a faster hit in towards B main. Oh, Spring caught. Second sees it. Nice little 1-2 punch, but quickly Juicy activates over at the A side, and John QT is blown to smithereens. Bang was hoping to find Sufat there, but the Crowler comes out instead. And Lysor is a little bit out of steam.
He is so overextended and caught. If Sufat can get this spike down, he's going to have the Nightfall. That could be enough to turn the tide, despite being at a man disadvantage right now for Wolves.
Dural theft there for YU. Gatecrest sent across to the A site now. It's going to be Juicy sat in elbow.
They have slowed things down, not trying to commit to the plant at the moment.
What is the plan supposed to be? Sufan obviously spike carrier. He's inching forward.
This has been enough time for Narrate's fault line to actually cycle back up. So when the spike does eventually get tapped, there's even more util for SEN to flood in off of.
Okay, I think SEN still confirmed that the Wolves are staying here. Here's the Rolling Thunder. This could get ugly. YU on Rafter finds one, but second trades it instantly. Cancel from the shadow. It's not the off angle. They're not checking it. Bang's having a salvage now for the 1 versus 1. No plant yet.
He's caught with a util out. There's just no way they should be winning this round. There is just no way. Send man advantage, massive util advantage. Wolves slow down the game. Less time when they actually have to get the spike down, where Sen can exploit that by flooding in, pressuring so hard. They just don't check that corner. They don't think he can be tucked.
I definitely think there's some overheating going on in the Sen camp now, and there's no more opportunities for Kaplan to intercede.
That looks like a bit of frustration coming out from Nere late in this half.
Attempt. Bang goes to take that 1v1.
Look at the buy now from Sen, their last chance to get around on split defense. Only 4 to their name before the side swap.
And this time there's a lot more presence in B main. Zekinen had to be ready in the double swing, catches him off guard. Narrate peels off the line, doesn't want to handle it.
Wolves, in this round, they say, all right, Spring, you're starting to have a little trouble. Let's get you some backup, stack up with multiple players. This time, we're going to overwhelm Sen, who have been happy to fight for that space to find the opening pick. Love that decision from Wolves.
Bang is tentatively looking to retake this ropes position. And all of Sen are grouped up. 3 down mid. The Wolves are pretty diligently trying to clear their way into B, but this will take some time. This will buy some time for the flanking troop of Sentinels to wrap around. It's being watched for by YU though. Better weapon. No stingers are not going to hit hard enough at that range. Now the Nightfall over to the B site. Nobody here for Sen. They've all peeled off. There's more on the flank. YU checking for it where the camera sees it all. Paranoia comes in but only catches onto the Cypher. There's a real fight here in B main. And Wolves slap Sentinels down. Narrator's had to jump into the pit. No other choice for it. He gets rid of it though with Spring falling. That's the Viper out of the way. Now Narrate can heal back up, but Juicy's waiting for him. It's a 8-4 half here. Wolves introducing Sen to that Chinese Valorant in the most brutal way possible.
They are being outshot. The mechanics right now are just simply better for Wolves. Spring, dominant. Juicy's entry is incredible.
All right, we're going to do a break, folks. When we come back, more of splitting this game between Sen and Wolves after this.
Coming into this game, you're acknowledging the peaks and dips that Wolves had. The fact that they 2-0 Billy to qualify, but then lose 0-3 to Billy in the lower final. This team, when they're hitting, though, like they are today, individually are so sick. I mean, Juicy, Sufan, Spring are putting on a show. The 1v1s, the raw duels are just going the way of Wolves right now. Sen need to wake up.
Lysol gets first contact here at B. This is going to draw Sufan over towards that side of the map through spawn, but Sen are far from committed.
Waiting right now to just play off of this fault line. Guard cover is going to get thrown down B main by Lysar over there on B, who's stacked up with Sufan. Prowler Replayer is going to get some information onto Bang. Sen are just slowly taking their time, posturing up. It's looking like an oncoming B split.
That smoke indicates potential ropes control, but Sen do not have the players on that A side of the map. Definitely going to see them pivot here. And they're trying to cut off Rafters with that smoke to maybe take Heaven control. He's a Paranoia that connects cleanly on a Spring. Juicy though playing from within the smoke, deals with Zelsis. And there's a way for Zekin to really get past that, but Sufat trying to hold on the site. He's dug out easily. Zekin has that Rafters control, and low as he is, Sentinels have been able to clear Wolves. Player advantage now, Spike to go down.
Let's see what Spring can do. Working his way into Heaven slowly, has to wait for this dark cover to fade.
Peers down ropes, doesn't see anything. YU decides this is the time to activate from the defender side spawn. Spring wins the duel. That's big. Can YU do it as well? They can! It's down to 8. Has a flash to work with. Lets it go. It's a matter of playing time, something that Sen couldn't do in that first half when it needed to happen. And now it's ring around the rosy, folks, but now we're going to see them clash, and it's a right click for Narrates. Gives Sen the staging ground on this attack side they were sorely needing.
Desperately for Sen to get back into this game. Get things started right in this second half after not being able to get anything started in the first. And it looked like even here, they were about to once again succumb to the aim of these Wolves players. Spring isolated 1v1 taken against Bang. Gets the adjustment.
Juicy didn't realize there were 2 players in that Heaven smoke. Zekken slipped the net and was able to pick Sufat off on the side. Anti-eco now for Sentinels. Phantom for John.
And this is just full 5 classic save here for the Wolves team, so SEN shouldn't be succumbing to too much damage here, ideally.
Trying to get those orbs into Zekken's hands, though. Get those dimensional drifts rolling early.
Yeah, that is the name of the game when you're running Yoru. That has been one of, if not the most relevant meta ults this entire year. Round defining.
My camera is
Laborious, but the cam is cleared. Sentinels crossing to take that heaven control, but as we speak, Wolves are coming up from ropes. Spraying through the smoke, Zekken, much to his chagrin, takes some damage and is seized in place! He's able to get at least far enough away from the snake blade, and even a paint shell is committed by Wolves. That's a lot of util drawn out.
Good little combo. He was close to getting one. Zelsis is in the meantime. He has just been slow getting into this site, and he's calling for the rest of the team to pivot over now.
Is this an overpush?
Free? No, almost, but superior weapon comes out on top.
Great mid-smoke here, might be a flash out of it. Sufat's gonna have to face them down, but Zekken's gonna be able to stinger. Juicy from the smoke, they emerge, and Zekken will dispatch them. Just YU now, who is outfoxing Zekken. But all things considered, pretty clean anti-eco for SEN, gets to 6.
And it gets Zekken just one orb away from the dimensional drift, so they can play to that as a win con now on this bonus. Give Wolves a taste of their own medicine for how they were able to open the game, how they were able to get up in such a significant lead early. A bonus round win here should effectively tie things up, would be worth 2.
Nice pivot there from SEN. That mid-control smoke to ropes and then face Wolves as they try and push out.
You see in that moment what we're going to be seeing a lot of on this attack side, which is just an infinite amount of flashes to pop out of these smokes as a team from SEN.
Bonus hit for SEN to see Zekken with a stinger in hand. John checks Heaven and is very lightly held. Wolves have a player in ropes, one just entering that part of the map. Sufat looks to re-clear.
Sufat's actually swinging out. Does have to back away, does have to give that space up. SEN are getting very active right now in Heaven. A lot of control. Wolves pivoting multiple players back. Side to anchor, spring, crucial 1v1.
Interestingly, Wolves playing around this smoke, not looking to get entrenched in elbow, just want to play forward. Spring pops his head up and it's whack-a-mole for John. Okay, the double swing. The stinger gets some value though, and Narrate's able to hold it down from ramp. This just leaves Sufat in screens, and YU, with these rifles, this 4x for Wolves, have to untangle this round, but SEN are giving them nothing, Wyatt.
Unfortunately, this round is displaying what has been a major issue for Wolves defensively on this map. They'll get in positions to flood, but there will be too many isolated duels. Things will get a little disconnected. You had 2 players on site in that smoke, but they didn't pop out at the same time that Spring was swinging open in Heaven. He just goes down on his own in this moment to John. There are 2 players to his right, but there's no one to swing out to help because it's just not coordinated on that timing. And this is going to get SEN an opportunity to tie the game 8-8. This is really my feeling for Wolves coming into this map.
There's no initial anchoring presence on that site for Wolves either. They had to awkwardly filter in as Heaven's being taken. Spring passive hold in mid. Nice is awkward now. No one to swing off that line, and we are caught in the aftershock. Narrate guarantees that easy kill. 3 players with Sheriffs is all that Wolves have to their name.
This is going to feel great for SEN to have this level of momentum coming into the second half. Their economy is absolutely rolling. Unlikely that Wolves will be able to get any damage off some, I don't know, maybe 1 kill if Sufat can get a nice little jiggle peek here, but this is going to put SEN ahead by a significant margin and apply so much pressure to each of these buy rounds that Wolves are going to have in subsequent rounds.
Well, death and taxes. Sufat's able to find his 1. But it doesn't really change the fact that SEN are crawling over this A site like a kicked anthill. And there are only 2 Sheriffs for Wolves to try and extract them. Sufat doubles back here. Prowler down ramp. There's no one there. SEN are just entrenched on this A site, ready to fight for it.
Just have the Wolves players ready to play for exits, see if they can't take one of these guns away.
I still got a rifle. up Zels's fallen weapon, presumably.
One of the 20 flashes they have to take a peek. There's number 19.
Oh, I love that foul line. Just as Sen crossing, making sure no one can peer in. Lysor never had an opportunity to take a fight, but he will be allowed to walk away with this rifle. However, Sen City have evened up this game, folks. On a run after winning the pistol in the second half. And Wolves starting to whimper a little in that round.
And Sen have more than a real opportunity to extend this run to 5 rounds straight. Given the ultimates that they have when we get out of this timeout that's being called by Wolves. And a pivotal round in the game. This is 3 round coming up where Sen can outright win. They have a Rolling Thunder and a Dimensional Drift. Wolves have nothing to lose in the ult department outside of a neural theft, and obviously that is a one-sided match when we're talking about the ult economy.
Let's get this shit.
The Bishop of Sen City.
Yeah, more Valorant.
Wolves are going to need to tighten up their floods right now. They're going to spike over towards that B side, certainly implying that they want to go for a split. This is what they did earlier. They have Zekin and Zelsis, that duo, working mid, while the rest of the team take B main.
Who's next?
Dimensional Drift.
Yeah,
Zek's been eating those orbs.
Zekin's going to get all of this info and then can get away to B main if he needs to. This is why you genuinely want to fight this. He needs to get out of here right now. He's going back in to fight Zekin. This is mental.
Won't throw it out. Waiyu is going to be in trouble. Just set up on all sides. No escape. Spring tries to help him out, bail him out. He gives himself up as well. This is the rifle round for Wolves. And they're at such a massive disadvantage already.
My ult's ready.
It's just disjointed. They're not operating as a full team in that moment. Waiyu makes too reckless of a decision trying to get back in there. He's going to get overwhelmed, and does. Now, at best, maybe goes 1 for 1. And then Spring feels like he needs to come in to help, but no one else is on the rotate over just yet. They were trying to pivot over mostly from that A side, not close to assist. Pretty devastating. At least for Wolves, with this save, they'll have an opportunity for redemption on this next round. Not a blowout, not going to have to eco, not allow Sen to get to 10 with ease. But they are truly in the danger zone. They are still staring down the barrel of that Rolling Thunder from the raid, and now John has the Seekers. Just a streamline of ultimates from Sen to get advantages in all of these important gun rounds.
And for Sen, that's such a cost-effective round win where they just commit the Dimensional Drift. They realize that Waiyu is still on that B site. They set a 4-line up for Zekin to fight, and Waiyu decides he wants to double back. And now that animated-looking Wolf squad really just buoyed forward by that momentum from some of their individual plays have gone quiet, have gone off the boil. What can they manufacture here? Still a buy for them, in fairness. 2 half armors, but reasonable arsenal, all things considered.
Sen posted up right now for that ramp take. Of course, you can see Nere ready with the fault line. It's sewer, but it's just spammed through.
Juicy here. The only player occupying heaven right now. That TP sound cue for him just makes him uncomfortable, forces him down. Spring will be there on the top of road.
The aftershock, able to dodge it, and Lysor catches out Bang to even things up. Juicy is a wild player.
And that is just spray through the walls from both teams. Live by the sword, Bang, die by the sword as well.
Sen are going for the noise cut right now. And you still just have, it's this duo, Zelsis and Zekin, who are working the map together on so many of these rounds, trying to contact up, take this space.
There's no way Spring's
Spring
winning this.
is just...
Oh, wait, the timing? He's turned! Zekin brings him up! Waiyu, the sole player over at the B side of the map, and this is going to get a bit hairy for him. Does he choose to try and fight, to commit to this engagement? Got a trap wire on the side. Cam also set up. He's going to play closer under rafters, but he is overrun by the double swing.
30 seconds left.
Juicy ascending with bleed, fighting through tier 2 to make it back onto this team when it wasn't a spot for him in Pacific. He's going to go looking via Ramen.
Had to wait years to get this opportunity. Has a rifle right now. Can he be the hero?
Surely not another save for Wolves. They're starting to get a little bit desperate.
But already the time has just dropped so low for them.
They're giving it up.
Damage doesn't even matter. Look at the state of Sen's economy.
Ooh.
Multiple players on 8K.
And on honestly, this run of rounds, devastating. That is 6 rounds in a row for Sentinels. Now starting to put the timer on, Wolves threatening to close the game out. With the 2-gun save, though, they can definitely distribute enough around to keep themselves well armed. But there's a rolling thunder still waiting in the wings for Sen to make use of. And yeah, can see it now. They've shaken those jitters off.
These late anchor attempts just continue to get overwhelmed entirely.
He sees
Sen players.
just a glimpse of them through that wall and bang is... I mean, that boy don't miss. Sheesh.
Catch on the spring is so unfortunate. Almost had the turn. 1 second had already gone to the close road.
It's a goal!
Wolves calling their second timeout now of the game. As things have completely gotten out of hand. Feels like they got to play for something.
Here.
Aggro early, take some space, find some picks, or tighten up those floods, play for that as a win con, especially if they're able to get this Nightfall somewhere for Sufat.
Full armor for Wolves. A very respectable buy, all things considered. Maybe a little util light, but that is fine.
They have actually opted to just give up this B site. They have a kill trip set up that
What is Spring?
YU was hoping to just get a spam kill from.
The Spring wants to fight even Rafters. What is that? Unhinged from Spring.
Desperate from Spring to try and get something done.
But he's on his own. We talked about this. Out of the open, trying to take a duel as a Viper. Here's that attack side Viper's pit. Lysol trying to get busy now. No Zekin is in the corner, but the short he comes calling. With the pride of New Jersey, will have his pound of flesh. Juicy dropping down. Pit still active, of course. Juicy trying to disrupt.
One more kill and he'd actually get the showstopper.
And that will be perfect against this Viper's pit. Can he find it safely? They're on a clock. 2 players left here for Wolves. Losing this round will banish them to the economic doldrums, and John waits patiently for his prey. Juicy serves it up. Sufat has to walk away now. Maybe an exit or so. But there's no stopping the Sen economy. It is absolutely booming. Sufat will do what he can. On the rope, Celsius, an homage to his mate Arsena, I'm sure. That's Sen with 3 rounds in the lead, and we're out of our seats once more.
It looked like Wolves had the right approach there. They were just playing off of a kill trip. They give up the site, allow the stack on A. So if Sen do hit A, they've got 3 players there ready to go. And then when necessary, we'll move over, pivot into a flood, or just go for a full retake. Either one would have been highly recommended over that disjointed effort that came in. So unfortunate. This is it for Wolves. Full investment, 4 ultimates on the board.
And a slow start here for Sentinels. They do have Bang pushed up in the B main, though. YU very passive on this side of the map. So last round, Wolves, in theory, gave up that B side until Spring decided to ungive it up. Well, we all know how that went. Prowler into B main, they're clearing it. Spring pops that poison orb now, probably has a feeling that quite a few players here. Is that Snakebite quick enough? Bang gets ahead of much of this util now. And there's the Nightfall. Gonna reveal his location.
Would have been a lot of trouble. This Prowler fully spotting him out. Spring is steadfast right now. Just has not been able to get started on this defensive side. Wants to go for the peek. Can he actually catch the timing right now?
No one in heaven to be affected by that.
That's the spike down.
Push from Spring.
Down.
Bang. Just gets the spike, gets out, but he knows he's going to be pursued. YU from the low ground's not able to win it out. And here's a showstopper from Juicy. Where does this one go? Unfortunately, into the rafters. No connection. Zekin gate crash into the back of the site. The spike, though, is loose out in the middle of B.
Spring right now trying to get back in. That distraction from the showstopper was enough for Sufat to get them that man advantage. 25 seconds right now. The spike is down in the site. Sentinels have to fully commit. This is the best opportunity Wolves have had.
Dangerous double swing. Yep, that's got to be double held that angle that Zekin goes into. Narrate tried to set him up with a fault line, and now it's down to Zelsus in the dying seconds of the round, but he's hit with the paranoia.
10 seconds
Nearsighted, player in heaven. One on boxes and Sufat towards his left. It is a ridiculous stacked deck against him. And so Wolves finally dig their heels in. They waited a long time for this round, their first of the half.
They can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief that they were finally able to get on the board here. Finally able to make some adjustments. Spring biding his time in vents. Sen not expecting him to pop out so late. Catches that first kill. and then they do flood back into the site. They are playing together. Juicy gets that great showstopper. He didn't actually get a kill, but he was a hell of a distraction for the Anchors to be able to pick up those players that were on site to find the advantage. Wolves are back in the game, but SEN still have too much cash.
Sees here, Bang. Has the TP away from it. It was a fault line that directly connected with Juicy, but his team's util bailed him out.
Again, I like this from Wolves out of that previous timeout. It was called by Coach Fade. They're stacking up towards A, allowing B just to be played for passive kill trips. If SEN do go towards this site, they're going to be running into so many players.
Scout destroyed.
Trailblazer goes up ramps here. SEN still haven't taken much control of the A side, but up mid they're starting to poke and prod.
Second did teleport away to meet up with the rest of the pack. The entire SEN team are about to be in mid right now. Spring could be in some danger here. He's tucked in a corner. He can't get out to the left side. Now could with the dark cover placed.
But let them cross mid. Mostly undetected. See, Wolves now starting to forge ahead for a bit of information. That re-clear of B as main was too early.
Yeah, that was some false info. Wait, I mean, they do still have 3 players here, though. Actually, Wolves, they had not departed from this site.
The cam's there as well. YU likely able to spot Sentinels out of here. They come. Viper's Pit used defensively to try to stop them in their tracks for Zekin. Gate crashes onto the site. Spring inside the Viper's Pit. We have a TP by Bang to the back of the site. He clears a trap wire though, so has to give himself away. And it's getting messy in the Viper's Pit. The spray is there. Bang's able to bring Juicy down. Now 3 up for Wolves still. With the Viper's Pit, they slow SEN down to a crawl.
Great read on the situation. Even after that Prowler that gave false info, they stayed committed into that site with multiple players. Sufa ready for the teleport back from Zekin. It didn't end up paying off, but that little kill trip back there is also to deal with Zekin. If he just runs forward, he's caught, because that is your standard gate crash location from the Ori. Get in deep while the rest of the team come out main, but they couldn't. They were cut off by that pit. Perfect timing from Spring. The past 2 rounds, he is getting involved on this defensive half after being just going cold for that early SEN run.
Now this is getting interesting. 1 round in the game, both teams with full buys.
And the Sentinels' economy is actually being depleted at this point. At one point, having 3 players with 8+ K.
Spring here sees the clone come in. Paranoia hit.
The
Bang's gonna try and walk away. He can TP out.
My God.
Great little combo again.
The reaction from Bang was so fast there. All right, pressure onto Lifesword. Backside has to go off.
Flashed. Fault line doesn't quite hit him. Lifesword trying to
can't
connect. It's missed it. What a whiff.
Spike
Here though, the
down.
control from screens is good and Zek is out in the open. John able to find Juicy at the very least, and now they've evened up the odds. YU tentative about playing from rafters. The spike though still off the A side. Zelsis though is in there.
That Neural Theft getting some serious value for Wolves. Game slowing down right now. Sentinels want to see if they're going to peek out. It's all on YU 1 versus 2, as Sentinels are going to get a match point. We saw Bang win a clutch in this exact same situation in that first half. Can YU do the same?
He's going natty. None of that side for Util is here on A.
30 seconds
Nothing but that
left.
raw gun skill. Instead of trying to draw him out, tapping the spike. Still 23 seconds left of the round. And YU has been ever so patient. John sticks it for real though.
Planted.
Now Zelsis and John grouped up here. Looks like Zelsis should be watching this line, and YU swings it! 1 round away from a map win for Sentinels. And the vibes are looking pretty good.
John and Zelsis just watching each other's backs, trying to bait out that swing. Love the way they play that. It was looking so good for Wolves when they had that double face coming from screens. Juicy comes out of heaven. But it's that additional swing where John finds that kill to make it a 2 versus 2 that puts him in a winnable position. The IGL, they're stepping up for SEN when necessary. Wolves are in the right place at the right time again, but SEN come out on top. Match point, opportunity to steal away Wolves' pick.
And a dimensional drift to start the round for second, but Spring's already found something. Zelsis straight down mid.
I think that was just spam down mid.
This finally gets in the back of the site. There's no trip here to stop Zekin though, so SEN have this big control. Prowler thrown out once again. Bang has to TP away. And it's Narrate with the spike in hand. They've got to be concerned about this heaven control. Wolves have 3 players up there, and the Seekers are going to confirm this largely.
John wants to go for the reflank. The mid is actually tripped right now. That one-way trip is still, or one-way unbreakable rather, is still up there, so he's going to have to deal with that.
Okay, Juicy flies in, the judge! Zekin's able to trade it out. Gate crash now to a safer position. Bang is still on the side. Zekin runs into Lysol.
John is coming on the fight, but Zekin is going off.
Just John now.
They know he should be here. He had to break the trip.
The timing, John's going to commit to the site. Spraying down through the smoke. Sufat on the other side of the dark cover. John, very, very low, but he's buying time.
He got it to half. There's
Another
no
tap.
way. There's just no way he can stick it.
Sufat saves the map for Wolves. Gets it to half, then knows that John can only give him a tickle of the avian variety. Just throws a flash in and that's all he can muster.
He's been the IGL team leader and clutch merchant for Wolves. Both halves winning critical rounds. Juicy just goes 1 for 1, but what a distraction for the rest of the team to get back in. And the fact that mid was tripped, John just couldn't actually accelerate to help these guys. Second almost came up with that multi-kill.
And now it's awkward for SEN. It's 2 stingers to their name.
And now that we've just gotten into this retake, better flood territory, Wolves are wrangling this game back. Multiple stingers for SEN.
But a couple Guardians for Wolves. Neither team are comfortable economically.
Wolves are a couple orbs away here from critical ultimates. Nightfall, Showstopper, only requiring 1 each.
Do they dare push up for that? There's no way. Why are you anchored on the site? We'll have Juicy on rafters early. This might be signaling an A split through rope here by Sentinels. Trip cleared. Clone gonna eat it up now. How do you respond to the defenders?
At the moment, Wolves are posturing towards B heaven. That's actually going to be a teleport to get info in A main and a cancel. But John,
It's false info.
a bit far back, as is Zelsis. This hasn't called for any adjustment in the Wolves' positioning. Here comes this breach utility, guys. We're definitely pivoting into B. I swear.
He's selling it.
I swear we're going B.
The right even gives up a bit of his health in order to sell it, and he does keep Juicy interested at B for now. Heaven control for Sentinels.
Okay, crash deep from second. Fake teleport.
Bang caught in the seas, but will heal back up after the decay. Sufat here. Oh, Spring wants to take a fight characteristically. He also flubs the shot. SEN running over this A site. 10 seconds left for a spike plant, though. It's got to happen soon. Here's second into the fault line.
Juicy has the showstopper. Oh, but he goes down.
There it is, folks. John runs Wagyu down in SEN after a paltry 4 defense side rounds.
See, he has his patented arc rows over there in tree. Some little things that Wolves are definitely going to be or should be prepared for when they've been reviewing the SEN VODs. But yeah, the biggest departure for me is the fact that Zekin's Yoru was lethal on this map. Last we saw SEN against MIBR in Americas in that upper final, but just pivoted back to the Rays, which is, I mean, a vintage Zekin agent as well.
Absolutely. No early rebel fight here for SEN. Very passively here on the A side of the map with a drift over the stairs by Narrate. Zelsis is about to get busy, but Bang already emerges. He holds it down, peeking over towards the push to tree.
Cover going out.
Lysol might yet make a pivot here towards the B side where Zekin will be waiting, paint shells in hand. Early encounter at C as well. Wolves testing every avenue.
They are so spread out at the moment, but Lysor is just solo walked into B and is going to get the spike down. All right, cool. Spring with that Sheriff getting some damage done through the dark cover, spamming away. Triple players stack up from SEN, trying to get through Baby.
He's alone. Lysor is still alone right now.
All the timing.
Not able to get away from that. C is going to be thrown in. Lysor at 2. Finds at least 1. Narrate, a tap on the spike here. Door opening up. Prowler to herald the arrival of Wolves as they try and stop this retake. But SEN, hard hitting. Leaves Spring out of the open and out of luck.
That's Wolves down a player early on account of Bang, but then just being very disconnected as Lysor knows he can get a free plant, but no one's really in position to take any further positioning.
Spring threw up a Viper wall that allowed the 3 SEN players to get into Baby Door for a 3v1 against Lysor to start that retake.
Yeah, unfortunately, just due to where all the players were and the importance of taking further space towards defenders spawn after getting the spike down on B and C especially, they're just not able to do that because all of the Wolves players are spread across the map. They can only get back to B main and spam, and they're at a disadvantage. They're just never going to win that. Wolves are going for the force right now. Juicy has the Bucky.
Maybe looking for more of a close quarters context.
And he's going to make it close quarters with a double satchel.
Yep, here we go. Juicy coming on in. Narrate has to hear this. Oh, Juicy! Well, has his wings clipped as he tries to cross that B site. Already big mound control. Bang pushing up. Has to be aware that B main is where Wolves are currently milling about.
Wolves there displaying for us why the Vice is just so effective on this map. They're going to need to be able to proc that wall so Juicy doesn't end up in situations like that. We know he's going to be double satcheling in deep, but if the rest of the team are cut off by the shear, he's going to get cooked every single time like we just saw.
Eyes towards Baby Door now for Wolves. Narrate. About to have some visitors. It's a 1-for-1.
Spike down.
Spike recovered, of course. Tufat now needs to make a decision. They've got that stairs control on A, but he's still fancy B for a moment, and there it just took too long. Zelsa's caught a timing on Spring, and now Tufat's got no choice but to go towards the B side, where Zekken will be lying in wait.
30 seconds left.
Again, unfortunately for Wolves, the players are just so separated from each other
Bam.
on individual missions,
down, B.
and this, what looked like attempt to be the Stinger rush onto the B site was ultimately just denied by the Sentinel utility, and from there things have slowly collapsed.
10 seconds
While you're left alone, surely going to be going down to Zekken here. Closing out the round in pretty clean fashion for SEN against the buy. So opportunity to get to 3 here now against Wolves early. Get a nice little lead on their own map pick. I like what Kaplan said. It was interesting to hear from him just on that map, the difference in play from the regions. We're not scrimming against teams like this. It was hard to get our own game plan online because we're just not used to what Wolves are doing.
Because Wolves made that force in round number 2, they've really got so little to work with. And this for SEN is an opportunity to build a massive economy on his defense side.
Of course, that Outlaw's still going to be getting value for Zekken as he pushes up and gets space on Rubble with the rest of the team. Wolves are triple-faced on B, hoping that someone from Sentinels will decide to go for a peek. That's not going to be the case right now. Taking it slow, hoping to collect some orbs. I mean, back in the meta of Lotus, when these comps pretty much ran for an entire year, the game was really ult-orb dependent. Getting those showstoppers was of the utmost importance.
Wolves get the sheer wall. Only about 6 to 7 seconds before they can circle back to C. That does seem to be the plan, though. Or slowly extract themselves. Fighting for Rubble might be a dangerous proposition for them, but Narrate is the one with the ghost.
I'll find you.
Perhaps an easier target to knock down. Confirms that there's at least one player still here. Bang's going to have to play off of this fade positioning.
Just ready to send out the paranoia off contact. What? Okay. No way. There's just no way. That shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening.
Now it's going to be on Zekken. A little bit awkward. Outlaw with a ton of targets to find. And Juicy trying to get across with a blast pack. That's 2. He'll fall off the line now. Paint shells to follow up.
Out of charges.
Peaks with the classic. He's bought enough space, though, at least for SEN to get the reinforcements in place, and so they do.
Sufa is so far away right now. He's in B, having to go through Baby Door. Spring is going to need to do even more work with his Sheriff. And it feels wrong that the ask is on him to do more in this round.
Tufat is here. Sentinel's now going to make this push up. Likely a double swing. John in second here on this line. Celsius with his back to Spring's position.
No.
His head cleaned off. Now 2 left. Second finally shuts down the rampaging Spring.
I'll find you. Still
But up to Spring comes Summer, and Sufat's about to make it hot and heavy. Backs away, no time. Plays it like an absolute champion. That is not around. You have any business winning?
That feels impossible and should be impossible. How is that double setup from SEN towards Rubble dismantled? There's no util for Wolves to get out aside from using the wall to get forward. Sees what a shot! And the crosshair placement from Bang, who throws down the dark cover, throws out the paranoia. There's just no way.
1 enemy remaining.
And then after that, Spring, could you actually do some more for us? Could you get another kill?
Sufat plays behind him.
Come on.
Expertly in that moment. The second's got no choice but to run at him.
Wow, look at this. Read on the economy from Spring. Outlaw, 5 one-shottable targets. Everyone from SEN on lighter regen.
SEN know they've given that weapon over, though. And they know they need to play around it. 0 peaks off the seaside here.
Wolves do a nice job getting all of the space towards Mound and drawing a bit of attention from Sentinels, even proccing the door. Celsius wants to go for some spam in case they are actually trying to get into B main at the moment.
Down to the minute mark in the round. Still nothing drawn out by Sentinels. Nothing really for Spring to look at with this Outlaw.
And this is Sufa just on a solo effort to keep the attention here. He's doing everything. He's throwing prowlers. He's opening the door. He's getting the orb. And there are 3 players mostly drifted towards that area of the map. It's going to be an A re-clear again. Can bang right the wrongs from that prior round.
Narrate never had to show himself there either. It was awkward, but Narrate last time they were here had only a ghost. This time they're armed to the teeth. YU is able to draw that sheer wall out, but there's fights definitely happening over towards Rubble. Sen back up on it though. 25 seconds left in the round. Wolves have to make a decision.
Oh, they aren't. They're still too indecisive. They're going back towards Mound now. They're in a 2-1-1 with 15 seconds left. The round is just over.
They've got no duelists. They've got no entry on this site.
They can't even get past the thorns that are there. Now they're trying to get into B. This is mad.
Okay, 7 seconds left and they're going to go for it. Snake bite on the ground. Lysor knows he's going to lose much of his health. And it's Zaki with the showstopper. Brings the house down on Wolves. What a bizarre round. And Wolves bleed the clock a little too much.
The indecision is their enemy there. You have Sufa making that tons of noise over towards C in the mid-round. But Wolves, after losing Juicy on this entry towards A, they just did not want to commit through the dark cover. This is actually going to be an early timeout called right now by Coach Fade, and I am not mad at that. In fact, Wolves out of this timeout. They're nearing many ultimates. SEN expending some to win one of those prior rounds. So when we get to Wolves' full buy, that can certainly be the linchpin of a win there. Here, they're hoping it's just going to be one of these 2 hero rifles.
Don playing a bit further forward this time around. Knows that Wolves are obviously less cashed up this time around. See a lot of heads though, and Juicy, man, he is clean with it. His Sheriff claims the first. Celsius is seized here, decayed down. There's a window here. Pops the Razor Vine. They can't quite get purchased on him. And Sufat overextends. Spike loose. Lysor, though, is able to at least to salvage. Zekin's going to be here. Spray down's a bit wayward, and Lysor's gotten in onto the C site now. And Zekin's paint shells do not get any value.
Slowly trying to get towards Bend right now. Not comfortable getting the spike down just yet. Narrate has a fair amount of initiator utility to use to get back in, and Bang is on a long flank right now. Will Wolves expect it?
YU checks for it, but can't beat Bang. Paranoia comes in, Lysor and Spring forced to just double up at the bottom of the C site. Bang must have spotted them there with a shoulder peek. Perhaps not, as still eyes are looking towards the bend. There's Spring, just sees a head pop up. That's stunning stuff. Eventually, though, taken down. It's Lysor with less than 50 health to play. Time is of the essence, and SEN are fully cognizant. They'll have themselves their 4th round.
Credit to Bang there, able to win the duel on the flank. That is the highest impact kill in that situation you could possibly find. Then you have the other 2 players being encircled from multiple different angles.
Look at a brute force solution to trying to get Celsius out of that corner.
I mean, I'm not mad at them fighting it, it's just that they didn't really fight it together. If they both kind of got out and were spraying, they might have just gotten that kill in clean fashion, but they weren't doubled up. Celsius getting that one was pivotal as well.
Zekin is 8-1. Night and day comparison to his start of his split game. Running it back on the Rays after all this time.
We really have not been getting much of the Zekin Rays, if at all, this year, but that is his, or was his go-to agent. That's what he was known for, the flex Rays play. Here comes Juicy fast into the side. That's a dodge. The arc road shut down.
Right into the Razor Vine as well. Celsius now wants to assume some more control, but he's likely hoped this TP forward by Lysor. He gives up the site. Play for the retake.
In the meantime, YU did actually find a kill with one of the players from SEN on the cross towards B. Bang teleporting over to assist. This lockdown is going to keep the Sentinels team at bay. Should give Wolves a free plan here.
Yeah, look at, I mean, how much of Paul's his covers. Wolves also pinging the one gap in that. Oh, John, that is stunning. Yes, detained, but there's no chance for Wolves to follow up on this. Spam down through the smoke, finds to be another one. Here's the Nightfall down from the attack side. Wolves want to try and assume as much control of C as they can. They've even committed a Viper's Pit to that effect.
Yeah, this round is must win. They have to send it all. YU spam kill.
Spring in the pit, dancing around. Narrate finds him before he decays too low. That's a Viper's Pit now gone. YU and Sufat in this corner. Zelsus and Narrate do not have the util to clear them from this. Gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Spray down through the corner. Zelsus exposed himself to Sufat on the tight angle, and Narrate does not have the health to bail Sentinels out. A hard fought, long sought after second round here for Wolves.
They committed all they needed to, must win round, excuse me, and they are able to take that down. Spring just somehow connects a miracle shot on the second player that was swinging through the pit in that final situation. But a good usage of their alternates, no doubt. YU was crucial on that round too, early. Pretty standard for, you know, your sentinel position. They're gonna be taking a timing on B, waiting in main to hear those footsteps on. Look, I'm certainly looking to Wolves to maybe go for one of the crazy executes here where your Omen uses from the shadows to get behind the defensive team and then you send it at them with a showstopper. Pinch them from both angles. That is a pretty common ult execute on this map.
And Lysor is not above a cheeky little TP to the enemy spawn. So turret here for YU to play contact off of a B. Wolves have been waiting for a push out of B main from SEN, but it's never happened. Not so far in this defense side. They've just been leaving Zek in here, of course, with those paint shells to hold it down.
The only real proactivity coming from SEN is just the double up from Merit and Bang to take Rebel control. And to be fair, it has kept Spring at bay. He hasn't had opportunities to be able to lurk up off of his wall, which feels very un-Spring-like. I mean, on Split, he was taking the fight to them all the time. Here's that showstopper.
He's just waiting on those sacks.
Can't do anything.
On the snake bite. Couldn't actually cross. Sheer wall did come up. And that's a speculative showstopper that ends up finding nothing. All the util cleared from the seaside, though. It looks like Wolves want to double back, Wyatt.
Yeah, they certainly can re-execute off this.
30 seconds
Sufat
left.
does have a haunt to throw, clear out an area like Bend, teleport through to make the cross. They want to scale into the site, which is vacant of SEN players, but they are ready to flood back in off the Steel Garden.
Juicy Vizak and Duelists here fighting for that Hall's control. Second opts to wait just a little bit longer here. That Steel Garden off the back of it. John explodes. Zelsus now playing from Waterfall. Lysor left here on the seaside, the last remaining Wolves player. And Zelsus might not be aware. He TP'd out with that ultimate. So now Wolves in a position to play that retake, but Zekin's already got it to half, and Wolves might not be aware of this. Narrate's able to spray them down through the poison orb. Zekin got off of it briefly, but he'll full stick this, and Wolves are none the wiser.
That's just disaster for Wolves. They have to all retreat into Mound after the Steel Garden is used, and the spike just isn't planted for them. The round is just over at that point. Easy, effortless retake for Sentinels.
Spike planted.
Sufat tries to get out.
I mean, what can they do after this situation? Legitimately nothing. It's just over. It is just over for them.
Looked odd, but I think Wolves probably realized there was no reasonable way to get back in, so wagering those remaining rifles seemed less than ideal. Now a bit of a rubble fight. This time SEN actually aren't playing forward. They've got Bang back in tree.
4 rifles right now for Wolves. Spring just on the pistol, though, unfortunately.
Watch the timing of this paranoia, Wyatt. Sees combo with the paint shells, perhaps. Oh, it's second getting caught out. Narrate doesn't have much to see here, and Bang's going to watch his left side. No! Oh, my goodness! Sealfat found a quick double.
That is SEN going for a bit of a haphazard attempt at the refight. Just not expecting, I don't think, so many Wolves players to actually be ready with the crosshairs on those angles. This has been the most convincing round win for Wolves so far, unless John is able to go crazy in that 1v4, but he can't. It's shut down by Spring.
And that was a half buy. Wolves, I think, had 2 pistols, maybe even classics in that kind of round. And it was one of the rounds where SEN opted not to play forward on Rubble. They didn't have Bang TPing forward at the start of the round and having Narrate watch that live. They opted instead to try and play off a paranoia, and everything kind of went wrong for them in second. Found himself isolated.
Yeah, isolated on that orb, and the rest of the players just tried to spill through the fight together, but Supa hits a nice little snappy adjustment. Too many players from Wolves posted up to deal with. And look at this. Somehow, SEN, their economy is not very good, which feels bizarre, but this is an opportunity for Wolves to get right back in the game, potentially tie things up, break their eco right here.
Bang can't clear the horn with where he is, so he actually at least consider giving up that Rubble position. We'll get a B variation, though, this time from Wolves. But some of this Vice util is here.
Which has been an absolute nightmare for them. Second 2 rounds in a row has been instantly deleted by Juicy.
Wait a minute. Are they going to go back towards C here? Zekin's departed. Obviously very early in the round. Juicy though's been cleaned up. Spring wants to try and get forward here, but this Nightfall could be a bit of an issue for Wolves. Spike is obviously down. Spring trying to play from upper and cleared out instantly. Sulfat now gives his position away. Enough noise to wake the dead, and Narrate's going to turn around with the Odin. Look to try and spray him out of the game, and this is awkward timing for the fade. Wolves here with a great opener. SEN able to convert on a 4v5 after Zekin falls.
Great opener, essentially a free plant. They have the idea, which is the right idea, of when you're getting the spike down on this map, you have to go take more forward space on B, but they just don't do it together. Juicy is too quick to face here. Zelsis gets an isolated 1v1. There's no trade coming through. Spring is trying to get forward, but he's alone, caught before the dark cover drops. Right idea, wrong execution from Wolves, and some frustration on the face of Fade as things are getting a bit out of control on Sentinel's map pick, especially for the defensive side. And when you're talking about these traditional comps, this map was attack favored back when it was in the, in the pool, and this was the meta.
And that's why SEN getting to 6 is a huge deal.
My ult is ready.
Orb taken by Sufet now gets his Nightfall online. Once again, Zekin wants to take an early challenge, but looks like that's been denied. Classic entry over here. Zelsis is 39. Does he think to try and play a one and done in the corner now at this level of health?
Face your fear!
Okay, Boom Bomb going to be thrown in. Dark cover now. Over with the Paranoia, forces John back in the Hall's direction. Juicy deals the Zelsis all too easily. There's a nice little tap from John. Happy to challenge this side take util for a kill.
Yeah, now just fully on the retreat. Posted up to try and ensure the Wolves don't push any further. Lysor, danger for a moment, and it's just getting spammed through by Bang! Disaster! As Wolves try to wrap around Ben to get that spike down.
Spring's able to recover the spike, but what opportunity, they're going to have to plant it. He tries to surge ahead, draws Zekin out of position, might be a high-low swing, but Zekin tucks. He's not going to give them a free kill here. Wolves are the ones that have to wager something. And Spring, he's got some work to do.
Oh, it's disrespectful from Zekin. It's a little bit whimsical too with the double satchel in. Gets himself one orb away from a showstopper with those kills too, matter of fact. It's just those tracers from Lysor with the Vandal that are spotted out.
And at this point, Zekin just doesn't give them a freebie. Until this point, breaks that crosshair placement. Spring overwhelmed. And that is 7 defense side rounds for Sentinels. There's no way of framing this other than they're at a massive, massive advantage on this map.
As I can go in and pick up that Outlaw for another round in this map on an anti-eco.
Look at Spring.
Where are you?
Took that Odin damage off the rip, and Zekin's able to find an Outlaw pick with finally decided to push up on B, by the way.
Oh, that's gotten him his showstopper. Just in case SEN wanted another advantage to close out this half.
Oh, man. Spring's at 6, by the way. Far too much spam for Wolves to deal with. SEN are holding all the cards. A double swing here. They'll try it, but Bang almost had the correction. Spring at 6, wants a rifle. He'll have it stripped from his hands momentarily. It's an interesting snake by lineup. Yeah, just the delayed drop. I like that. 8 rounds for Sentinels. Last of the half. Showstopper earned by Zekin. It's looking grim for Wolves fans.
Gotta say, the just existence of the Vice utility on this map has really thrown a wrench in the game plans from Wolves. And it's, I think, highlighted some of the issues that they've had as a team, where it's disconnected them on executes to too great of an extent on multiple site attempts.
Are they shooting back?
All right, Wolves, last chance to get a desperately needed round win on what is typically the favored side on this map.
And this is that more passive A-side variation for Sentinels on defense. Nobody heading up to rubble.
And Zekin has actually picked up the operator towards C. I'm going to assume there's probably a rifle on the ground for him as well to pick up, and he has the showstopper to play with. So he's got 3, actually 4 weapons if he needs to use all of them.
He's Gilgamesh. And that's why he's down at 1,600. Of course you spend up here. Look, that Vice util that you referenced earlier is definitely going to be an issue at C. Popped here early. So you saw the Nanoswarm used by YU. Try and draw it out. Oh man, that is a long shot. He even tanks the Prowler in order to take it. Zekin might likely give up some rooms. Juicy has his own showstopper, so he clears the room at B. This is Wolves tipping their hand.
This will get enough space for Lysor to get the plant down right now safely. Spring on this lurk through A. Narrate is ready. He has eyes on the smoke. Can Spring actually catch a timing right now? He hears them running away. It's going to be time for him to hit the go button.
Juicy will buy more time now. He's gonna force Sentinels back a little longer. Okay, Juicy tapped down a little bit. Oh, 56! Showstopper goes between his legs apparently! And as Spring tries to get active and up, and Lysor down to one. Just Lysor left! And it's a disastrous attack side on Lotus for Wolves. Not nearly enough rounds earned here to give them any sense of confidence. They were dictating the pace of the game on Split. This time, though, they were taking orders from Sentinels.
I just don't have that explosivity right now on Lotus that they had when we were back on Split. Sentinels looking elite right now on their own pick.
Zekin tanks that Prowler, knows he has the shot. Juicy clears B with a showstopper, but can't do much else with it.
Narrate, once he got that Odin online, he was so oppressive. 149! Zekin even getting the kill with the AWP there. Was taking advantage of the Outlaw on the proper rounds. Sen really doing everything right.
We are moments away from jumping into the second half of Lotus, and like Quiet said, the challenge has been issued, a 3-round attack side for Wolves. So the pistol is where it begins for them, a huge comeback. Not unlike the one Sen had to undertake on Split.
Juicy had a tough time on attack. Unfortunately, was just sent in and isolated by so much of that utility. Was in unwinnable situations. Maybe here on defense is where he can turn it around. He was a star for the team on map 1.
Tentatively, Sen are starting to encroach here. Pass box, they've checked that. Baby Door, of course, untouched. And in tree, Lysor is going to be waiting. Wolves may be looking for an opportunity to explode out from here, but they're going to have to make some noise and getting rid of the door. Tree control taken, but now Sen looking over Baby Door. Supet's able to stop them. What a bouncer! You shout on pass, he says. Still wants to over-push into the spike location. The race having to get a second, but it's on Zelsis. Sheriff in hand. And a heck of a job to do.
Well done from Wolves, just swinging out together there.
30 seconds left.
All of the Sentinel players just kind of clumped up, playing by the orb, trying to get towards Baby Door. The exact start that Wolves needed, unless Zelsis with this Sheriff can go off, but that's just not going to happen. He doesn't have the time. There's simply no way. Wolves getting back into the game here on defense. Let's see if they can try to go on a similar run.
Juicy with the grenade out there. Zelsis hoping for a little bit to be offered up. That's not to be. The swing there from Baby Door for Wolves. Gets them onto the board here in this second half. A drought of rounds. Sen was stitching together 4 at the end of that first half. This play here, nice little double up. Spring pushes out to try and take more. Is punished for it, but the damage is already done.
And then you just have Juicy on the cross from sight. Just a beautiful setup. Simple, highly effective from Wolves. And they are going to fully invest up into this anti-eco round where Zekin is going to do the Juicy cosplay from the first half and go for the Bucky double satchel.
Yeah, perhaps to upper. Maybe with a dark cover to get him in there.
I'm getting deja vu.
Prowler comes out, there's also a wall there. Now over towards the mound side of things for Sentinels. Zekin still has his satchels, blast packs, he's caught midway through. It's the marshal of all things that catches him.
John does actually recover that Bucky. Maybe he can have a better fare with it. YU holding the cross. Here come the swings from Wolves.
Not a lot to write home about in this round. Solid stuff from Wolves. YU just waited on them now, and John says, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, they say. What do I have here?
Well, he gets his. Unfortunately, that is just with the Marshall down, but they'll take what they can get with the Bucky investment, which does end up being a little bit awkward into this. Zekin is just going to have to buy up into a Stinger. Well, we've got 2 back-to-back rounds, I will say, for Wolves on defense, where the fundamentals are just looking good. Just playing, swinging out of these smokes together, taking the fight to SEN as a unit.
Yeah, good defensive util over at B that sort of diverts Sentinels to the C extremity. And now the pleasantries have been exchanged. They mostly buy here for SEN. There's a C's attempt over towards Rubble, but nobody for Sentinels is in attendance. They're pretty quickly heading to C, but there's definitely some util that needs to be cleared out.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, so important to just try to get your orbs over to your Rays if you can. Get as many showstoppers as possible when you're on this attack side. SEN want to get into this C site perhaps. There are 3 players ready to go, but the other 2 a bit too far away. We'll actually go to narrate on account of him being the closest to the ultimate at the moment.
So here's where great teams on Lotus attack side can succeed. They've got nothing really out of these early exchanges except some defensive util.
And now look at the difference here for how Wolves are approaching these A re-clears. They do have Narrate involved here. They can throw out some of this initiator utility if they want, but at the moment it's just going to be a snake bite for back. Rubble slowly making their way out together as the clock is ticking down to 35 seconds.
Lysol spotted, tagged up on the shoulder peak. Backing away into Baby Door is Juicy. Zelsus now takes this opportunity to get some B control. They can pinch on towards the Rays, but Juicy sees an opportunity to come forward with that retake wall thrown up. Now SEN bouncing over towards B, but Juicy's going to be waiting for them. That paint shell doesn't do too much to dissuade him. Paranoia, though, could be a problem for the Rays. Juicy on the corner. Can't really see. Bang, and it's haphazard shooting. Effective enough, though, for Sentinels.
Nere was just so patient on that lurk. Bides his time, gets the free kill spring. Jump up from Zeki, gets out of the way to Satchel to win the duel. Now 1-for-1.
Wayu's only got a sheriff to work with. Silfat has to be careful on this angle. Just a Guardian to play with. Bang re-smokes up. It forces Wayu to just push out into the great unknown. Sentinels are waiting for it with open arms. Converting that first rifle round here on this attack side.
Nice fast trades from Zelsis to clear things out. Juicy was dangerous for a moment in Baby Door when he finds the perfect timing window to swing out, get the opening pick towards Rubble. But eventually from that position, you can just feel the walls closing in on him. You're just too susceptible to any utility coming through.
Sorry. I got you though. I like that. I like that from you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now heading into what will be from a disappointing showing at Bangkok this year. Going out, losing 13-1 to Liquid. They want to start off strong with a clean 2-0 against a Wolves team that are just trying to make themselves known on the international stage for the first time. We didn't even think they'd be here.
And once again, this early action, one out by Spring now.
Always happy to just take a 1-versus-1 in Spring.
For all appearances, SEN are highly committed to this seed, and yet that smoke towards Waterfall says they're coming again! Wayu has the stopping power. Just punishes Zekin mid-flight. All of a sudden, the options are limited for SEN.
And that is just some spray through after the door gets activated. Knows where to put the crosshair. Juicy.
Okay.
Quick on the shot. That should be curtains on the round.
That's a devastating round coming out of Wolves here. That C control, Wayu basically locking it down himself. Look at the locations of SEN's deaths here. Failed B attempt. Wayu catching the crossing Zekin. A flawless round here for Wolves.
Money's going to be pretty bad for SEN as well. Should be worth 2 here for Wolves. Look, that's just Spring so ready for, again, it's just that common Sentinel work position where you try to take a little timing peek. Spring too fast. Juicy too fast on that swing as well. They just shoot well in that round, but credit for isolating Zekin on that attempt to satchel in. Now we've got Kaplan going to call the timeout here.
That's what I thought.
All right. Sentinels on the eco round here. Just a stinger for Bang and a full effort to try and get out towards Rubble. Viper utility up to make the cross. Lysor again here defending. It's been a tough going for him on the map so far. Wolves would love for him to begin to heat up. Maybe he can get some confidence kills on the anti-eco just to get things rolling.
And they're wasting no time in getting this tree set up. And in fairness, Wolves don't have anything set up to stop them. They're going to be allowed into the A site. Pretty ideal start to the round for Sentinels. Now it's a matter of landing the plane as Wolves give the side up for the retake.
Second trying to get this really forward position. Cheeky little angle to play around this dark cover that's thrown down.
A nice little paint shells buys a lot more space. Oh, okay. Second. Oh, he disrespects the snake bite. Brings Abba to deal with him. Little high-low set up now from the defenders as they try and get back in here. Nightfall thrown up by Sen. A big ping though off that horn apparently. Suvet's able to reveal much of the defenders and now Lysor wants to step up, have a crack at it too. It's only down to YU. These Elses. YU so little to work with in terms of teammates. Tara could be deployed, but in the 1 versus 1, he's got a face. Zelsis down. And it's going to be his rifle burst the classic. All things considered, pretty solid round for Sentinels, but Wolves rack up another.
A lot of damage done. I do like how Sentinels were able to play that. Getting proactive, fighting towards heaven. They back off, absorb a little utility, try to repost, keep fighting. They were not slowing down with their effort to apply pressure to Wolves. Results in a lot of damage done. Now here comes the very crucial buy round for them. They're going up against the Wolves that have multiple high-impact ultimates to play with here.
Right now.
Lid's definitely kept on their economy to some degree by Sentinels. You're right, we got lockdown. Viper's Pip to play with. Showstopper for Juicy. Bang with that TP across to Rubble now. Sen again thinking about A early.
Wolves really no desire to go for these hard fights towards A. They've been giving it up, letting Lysor just spot for the information. Late Sen, they're slowing things down. They're cutting noise completely, pressing up towards this site. I mean, Lysor could be in some serious danger.
Turned anti-flash. That door being toggled is more than enough to tempt him off of A.
Yeah, gets away at just the perfect time. This site is totally open, totally free. That being said, though, Wolves just have fantastic ultimates to play for a retake. Bang, trying to get that kill. Lysor is going to want to play patiently.
Of course, the temptation's going to be here for Sentinels to push off this site wire, but it's a dangerous proposition. That lockdown could be an issue.
He gets that Steel Garden activated here, by the way. This is going to connect onto everyone if he rips it right now.
Yeah, finds the timing for it. Why are you trying to step out of it?
I think they mostly got out of the way there, actually.
Like
Their time is dwindling, though. They're going to have to recommit quickly. Great opener from Spring.
Delphus down. It's going to be a push coming from stairs at a moment from Wolves as well, but John tucked in the corner. 1 and 2. And here comes Juicy. Showstopper at the ready, but he can't get in. Finally makes it onto the side. Narrate's going to be dealt with, but YU is out of the game. 3 up for Sen. Bang. TP cancelled.
They all had to get off the site, but the spike is still planted for them, and there's just not enough time for Lysor. He's forced to retreat. Great positional adjustments from Sentinels at the end there. Had the spike planted for them. Steel Garden, sure, it doesn't get the connections, but it just ends up wasting so much time. And that means Wolves waste the showstopper, waste the lockdown, all for naught. Sen on 11. Creeping closer to the map win.
Juicy looked like he got seized as he was trying to come in with that showstopper, but still converted it for a kill. But just the spacing, like you mentioned, that Steel Garden forced. Then the Wolves lost another 5 seconds of time to make that retake happen. And timing's been a bit of an issue for them over the series at really important moments.
Sen bursting out into Rubble with some haste. They've been getting this space on the map for free, and they haven't been getting re-cleared. So they're hoping that's just going to be the case right now, and they can pivot elsewhere.
The push-up, though, towards Mound by Juicy means that he knows this is a bit of a fake. Now Sen are going to drift back in that direction. B main held 3 players at B for Wolves in general, so Sen make a good call here, heading to a pretty lightly held C-side.
My ult's ready.
Second gets the showstopper with a collection of that orb. Is he going to try to send it in? It's Bang teleport on the cross to break the crosshairs.
Awkward for Johnny, tries to crouch, but Juicy's waiting there, finds his second. Zelsa steps up only for 1. It's 3 for Wolves' raise. Now the momentum out of Sen's court. Second can still go for this, though.
Oh, that would just be so high risk. Certainly doesn't want to waste it. That being said, though, this is a pivotal round. Maybe if they can get a kill first, bring it into a 2v3, then you can use it. But in a 2 versus 4, you're just not going to want to waste it. But look at the SEN economy.
30 seconds left.
Wolves have been able to keep a lid on it. They've kept them in that danger zone. And with just 20 seconds left, they're going to opt to save these 2 rifles, bring them into the next.
Narrate, pretty big series for him. I mean, Zekken came on your show and sort of said he had full belief in Narrate to turn up when it mattered. That he just needed
10
that
seconds
one
left.
breakout game to really show what he's capable of. There's a sense that he's still got more to show on this team.
He's been having a quality series here. Yeah, I really don't think he's even reached his peak with Sentinels yet. To me, he does have more to show. He can even kick things into a higher gear.
And that's a Wolves round picked up. SEN do not want to take the gambit with 2 guns left. Great little 3-piece for Juicy here on scene.
This is another situation where you're seeing what Wolves are driving with. That is flooding back in, it's good fundamentals, swinging together, taking the fights together, and they're finding the kills in the Sentinels' transitional moments where they're trying to still scale deeper, get into the site.
Their fears.
All right, SEN, because of those 2 safe guns, they are going to be able to get a near full buy. Zelsis does have this stinger.
Okay, they got Juicy at 8 this time. Looks like Wolves are ready for a bit more of a rubble fight.
Wow, this is Neri trying to draw a lot of attention. Baits out the Nightfall while the rest of Sentinels will be able to get into this B site unless Spring tries to slow them down.
Too slow in a baby door here for Wolves. Spring's able to find one anchored in on the site. Sentinels forced away by their Viper util.
It's just that Molly on the ground that once again isolates Zekken in the site and evens things up. Even this pivot to C slowed down on account of another Molly, but Wolves won't fully be in position to get in just yet. Hoping to spam through. Bang getting on low HP, but the Viper's pit will just further obscure the view from Waterfall.
Spike passed along to Zelsis by the looks. And now a bit of a nice cut even from Sentinels, but you have to imagine they're staying here because of the Viper's pit. Zelsis here with an Arc Rose to set up, and this is going to be a tough retake for Wolves at the best of times. They can't even counter pit this, Wyatt.
Spike planted.
Spike is going to be planted, getting through this pit. A nightmare, but at the very least, when Sufat does make his way over, look at the concern right now from Wolves about a flank towards B. They're doubling up for that. Oh, and it's just wasting time. Juicy can't win a crucial duel.
And he can't double up with anyone from Waterfall because of that pit. He's solo in that position.
The round is slipping away. Prowler needs to be used to spot someone out, hoping to get some spam through the pit.
Oh, 1 by 1, White. They set up and they're fed to the wood chipper. I think at this point, Sufat realizes there's no point forcing the issue any further. Lysor caught out, both guns stripped away from Wolves. With an economy still to be able to buy, that is a devastating round to drop to SEN.
1 round away, Sentinels from taking their first match here after struggling at Bangkok, going 0 for 2, sent home early. You could feel the frustration from them, the way they were speaking about that tournament. Zekken speaking about their failures to adapt as a team, to play together in the way that they needed to, and they've bounced back.
Marshall has decided to win the round.
For this final round 2, they're going to have significant ultimates to close things out. Wolves have got their full buy. And they stay in the game. Nightfall ripped immediately onto Lysor. So much pressure towards his way.
Zekken wants to get up here with this showstopper. That's a deep rocket.
Oh, okay, he went for the snipe with that.
No catch though, Sealfat respects it. Things slow down a little bit though. SEN have not left rubble. But they can still pull out. We've seen this before. Bouncing over to another site after some early action here.
Well, Wolves will be more than happy that both ults are gone within the first 20 seconds and did not do a damn thing for SEN. They don't even really have much control of rubble. Juicy is, pushed up towards box, has Spring on stairs ready to swing off of him. John is just trying to keep them distracted, keep them on this site.
That's an extra 5 to 8 seconds in which Wolves do think something's happening at A, even if John doesn't have any follow-up. That means it will be YU again that has to anchor this C site alone.
At this point, though, they're not believing it. Spring is getting over to the C site right now, and will be able to help YU on account of the delay from the Mollies.
Viper's pit now drawn out in the C site. It's going to be a tough ask to expect SEN to go there, so we're bouncing back. Time is getting short. 30 seconds left in the round, and the Vanguard appears to be Zelsis at B. Is A back on the menu?
Yeah, it looks like it. This is a very late pivot. They want to actually go into a B split. Threaten an A hit second. Opens
it's
up.
Working. They're going away from the B side, and they got the drop on Juicy. The one pick at A draws the defenders off the B side, and now it's pandemonium from Wolves trying to get back in. Lysor with a double, decking and bang for well away side.
Player standing.
Now Zelsa's out of the game. John clutching for the series. Spring and Lysor doubled up, spray through smoke is wild, it's wayward, and Spring gets it to half. Now off of it, looking to team up with Lysor here, and John has very little to look at. Somehow finds Spring, and he doubles down!
Attackers.
The mastermind plants the flag for America.